Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Questions for Reflection. I just decided right now, as I was saying that I am actually going to start numbering these. So I believe this is episode number 5, I think, so that I can be like the astrology podcast and end up with thousands of episodes. They will never be 6 hours, however. So welcome in. My name is Susan Farmer, and I am with astrologyandsoul.com, but just astrology and soul. And my whole mission in life is to help you embrace all of you, even the ugly yuck. Embrace it, love it, love it. Today, we're going to go over Saturn and Saturn characteristics. We're also going to go over some Saturn in Pisces. And we're going to talk about Saturn's retrograde cycle and see how it fits into the question. What is this called again? Call to action. Boom. Pause. Do this. Send me in a video. Number 1, that it says okay, that I can share this on my social media. And number 2, talk about anything astrology. Film your kids talking about astrology, as long as you say you give me consent. And whatever, just find some fun videos. You will get a $5 credit for every video I post. And yes, they can stack. Send those to astrology, Susan at astrologyandsoul.com. Okay, here's the question. How do you define karma? That is the question of the hour. And this one has been a lifetime question for me. And what does it have to do with Saturn? Okay, well, Saturn, they say, is the planet of karma. And I believe, as I was thinking about this before recording, Saturn's like that old wise man who is kind of cranky and says no a lot. And when you get that one attaboy or attagirl or atta whatever from that person, it means a lot. And it takes time. Saturn's about time. Saturn's about practicing. Saturn's about doing. Saturn for me sits in the house of astrology and getting up and putting out videos. So I've had to practice my Saturn. It's actually on my task list every day. Saturn work, because it's hard. It takes time. And you do get huge rewards if you work on it. And if you don't, it stays an insecurity and a fear and a yuck in your life. So it is actually an archetype, just like the sun, that you can grow and nourish and become good at through time. So that is why they put it with karma, because Saturn feed you that good karma, that stuff that you've put into time. So I've always found karma so interesting, at least in the US. And I know they feel it differently in other countries, but I've really been raised, and it's been like so imprinted on my mind that it's kind of, you're going to get karma for good and bad things, but mostly bad. That when bad things happen in your life, it's because you deserve them because of karma. I don't know. To me, that's so effed up. And then I always find it interesting too, because I wrote this down. It's like, everyone says, oh, karma's going to get you. I even said that the other day to my son. And then I'm like, whoa, wait, is karma going to get him because of that? I mean, it was a really stupid thing. He accidentally took a flosser, a water pick from his old roommate when he moved home. Didn't realize it. He packed 2 because he had the exact same one. And he was like, oh, it's fine. He'll deal with it. And I'm like, no, no, give it back. You've got to send it back, Casey. That's not, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have told you. That's not nice. But he's this really logic grounded Capricorn. And he's like, he's better off with a new one. It'll take him forever to get it. And I can just buy him one on Amazon, whatever. And I'm like, karma's going to get you. Wait. So I thought, do I even think that? Which spurred this video, because I'm saying, like, so wouldn't karma, if you say karma's gonna get you, or I can't wait for karma to get that person, which I do say, and then I always say, well, karma will work it out, like that makes me a good person, because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get even, but karma will get even with them. Isn't that like, wouldn't karma be coming back at me for me saying that karma should be getting someone else? Like, it's all this huge, confusing thought where I'm like, I don't even get this cycle. And then I also go to, like, well, if it comes from a past life, which I don't even know if I believe in, but it could be a thing. I'm open to pretty much anything. Then I've had some really harsh things happen in my life, as I'm sure many of you have as well. So does that mean I'm just a really shitty person? Because I've gone through some shit. So I'm always like that. I'm like, wait, if I'm wanting karma to get them, then what does that make me? I must be horrible. So that's my question. And if you could share your answers with me, I would really, really appreciate it. Right now, Saturn is in Pisces, which is a very otherworldly sign. Pisces is a sign that likes to be somewhere else. Neptune is just somewhere else. Pisces is striving to be somewhere else. There's a little bit of that in them, but the goal is, like, not to figure out who God is or talk to God or universe or whatever word you say for that. But it is just to be one with them and walk and have a conversation, right? Neptune is walking and having the conversation. So do not mix those up. So if any sign, if Saturn's going to be karmic in any sign, if it's some supernatural, energetic, mystical thing, wouldn't it be Saturn in Pisces? So I'm just wondering. And so the reason I'm bringing this up now is Saturn conjuncts the sun on September 7th. They come together as one, meaning, so when it's a conjunction in astrology, it means they're one body. And this also resets the synodic cycle, which I've talked about a lot, which is a phase. Now, the sun will come back around every 365 days and continue to start synodic cycles with things. But what's, oh, it doesn't conjunct. I'm so sorry. It opposes. It's an opposition. Yeah, sorry. I was like, wait a minute. It's the midpoint. I'm totally wrong. Okay. It's not one. It's not one body. It is a body outside of you. So the sun is over here in Virgo, while Saturn is opposing or outside of you in Pisces. And that creates what is called an opposition. It is also the midpoint in Saturn's retrograde cycle. Saturn retrogrades once every year, and the sun conjunction is a very important day because it can help you see more clearly, and especially with sun and Saturn would be what's holding me back. That's what's holding me back from going forward and being the me that I want to be, from shining, from taking my gifts or my talents or whatever I want to strive and jump and be. What's holding me back, or what have I not worked for, or what is my karma doing in this area of life? So if you know where that is, that's wherever Pisces Virgo is for you, whatever those houses are. that is the place of life that would be working itself out right now. So we still have Saturn and Pisces for a little bit longer. I can't remember. Press this into Aries. It's sometime next year. But we are in a very important piece of its retrograde cycle that would bring in the karma. So, whatever that is, right? Here are the dates for the retrograde cycle. So, on March 23rd of 2024, Saturn hit its first phase of its retrograde cycle. What does that mean? That's the setup. And everyone makes fun of me because they say it sounds so horrible. I'm just saying it's setting things up. You're going to see signs, you're going to see clues, you're going to think, oh, I'm working. This is going, don't know if it's ever awesome, but the working is feeling good, right? The second phase is when it actually goes retrograde, and that happened on June 29th, 2024. So all that stuff you were working for, yeah, like you start hitting some inner reflection time on, well, what do I really want to do with this? What do I really want to work for? And with Saturn, some things will just disappear, some things will just go away. And I do have, me and another astrologer completely disagree. I think Saturn says no sometimes. They seem to think it's always a yes if you work for it. So, I mean, whatever you think, jump on whichever bandwagon you want. There are just things that seem to go away, and it doesn't matter what you do or what you try to push through, it does not work. That's been my life experience. And to me, there's always like almost an inner knowing. It's like, no, turn left, turn left. The Saturn retrograde is going to make you really question some of those things that you thought were goals before, like during that March to June time, or things that you were like trying to do or accomplish. It's going to put some obstacles in your way, and it's going to say, like, how bad do you want this? And you can always tell, here's the litmus test for me. If you work 5 minutes a day on whatever that Saturn thing is, and it starts getting easier and maybe a little more successful after a long time, like at least, they say habits 28 days. I'm going to say 3 months of doing it because it's Saturn, it's slow. Then you're on the right path. If it's still just a block after a block after a block, that's a flat out no. So that's what the retrograde portion. Then you hit the midpoint. That is the third point of every retrograde. All the planets, not the luminaries, not the sun and moon, all the planets go retrograde. And that is the 7th. I think that's today. That's the day I'm actually recording this. That is the 7th of September. It hits the midpoint. So what are you seeing? What's lighting up? What are you able to see with some of those goals and things you're trying to put the time in and maybe earn good karma with? I don't even know. And then the 4th is when it stops going retrograde and begins moving forward again. And that's called integration. Astrologers, like the terminology for it is shadow, because it's going back over its shadow. It's already walked this path and it's going to walk it again. And that's where you'll see, I call it integration, because anything that's going well, you want to start really integrating and making firm in your life. And then on the last phase, so between that November 15th integration of 2024 and February 18th of 2025, that's when you want to integrate. February 18th, 2025 is when it's out of that area, and you can really look back and read the results. You can see the harvest that you've planted, since we're in Virgo season right now, and see what's really working for you or not. And as I really feel like, as long as you've followed a lot of those steps and checked in with you and this time frame, so what lit up for you around September 11th, and how do you apply that to karma? So again, I'm going to tell you the question. How do you define karma? And do you see any of it at play right now? Do you see some things going smoother? Do you see things lighting up and showing you no or showing you yes? Sit down, pull out your journal, take some time. All right. Love you all. And remember, embrace all of you. Love all of you. Okay. Bye bye.